Alright, here I am at the floor of my living room. Well, welcome to the floor of my living room. I just got back from Funkadelic. It's a rehearsal studio here in New York. It's on 42nd Street, Times Square. I went by myself just to work on a couple of fucking things and just to see, to play loud again, so to speak, right? So I brought 23 and I bought the minimalist board, I call it. And it's basically just you got your tuner, your reverb pedal, and then your overdrive of choice. I chose to bring one of the Klons today. I have a few of them. They're Centura Klons. I built these two, so there's that, there's other things. But basically, I've just been going through a lot of shit and saying, I got a lot of pedals, just like a lot of people have a lot of pedals. But the difference between me and other people is simple. I don't use all. I have a lot of overdrives mainly. This is a fuzz box from Throwback. One of the first fuzz boxes John built. I think this is number 23 he built a long time ago. And I got Analog Man stuff, Analog Man. I got fuzzes, I got phases, I got all kinds of shit. These are my two hand-wired Phase 90s, script logos. These are beautiful. But the difference I'm going to say here, which is interesting, because this is a Grey Bottom Clyde wah, which is heavy as fuck. I hate heavy wah pedals. They're annoying. This is my hand-wired Vox. Hand-wired. Yeah, these are nice. These are really nice. I like these. This is much lighter for some fucking reason. Same box. I don't know. Sally Dried. These are really nice. I don't know if anybody has 6 Degree Effects. These things are built incredible when you open them up inside. They're like, oh my god, you know, that kind of thing. I have 2 of these. They're basically like, what the fuck you call it? The green box. Tube screamers. They're type of tube screamer. They're good, you know. We got this kind of a Klon. This is the RMCR Klon. This is good. This is not bad either. Basically, though, this and this, they're basically the same fucking thing. This is a Klon. This is a Centura Klon. It's the exact same Klon. Exact same circuit, the exact same parts, exact same everything. The box is a little slightly different than the original, but it's basically the same fucking thing. And they're about $300. $295, I think, if you want to build one yourself. I suggest building one yourself. They're actually kind of fun to build. I built 2 of them. They're really fun. What I'm trying to say, though, is like, you know, reverb tanks. This thing's okay. Not bad. I still like my good old Hall of Fame. Still my favorite reverb. Prince of Tone. I got 2 Princes of Tones. Got the Beano. And, you know, I got a lot of shit. And this is like some of the shit. I mean, I got this shit in like boxes and stuff like that. I mean, just that shit. We all have shit sitting around. But, I don't use everything. I used this minimalist board today and was very quite happy with it. Didn't really need anything else. Just need a good reverb, and if you're gonna use a Fender amp, you don't even need the fucking reverb. And an overdrive pedal. What the fuck else do you need? Now, if you're gonna have a song or something like that, you can say you want a phaser in it, you want a flanger in it, then you stick it on, right? You want a Leslie speaker, you know, there you go, got one of those, Univibe, right? But for the most part, you know, delay. I just saw a video just right now. This guy has a Strat and he's playing his small fucking club, and he's got this massive 57 pedal fucking board. I said to myself, I looked at it and I said, how the fuck did he carry that to the fucking gig? Now, you know, here in New York, we take the subway everywhere, right? So when I went to the studio just now, I got my guitar, I had the little pedal board, and I tried to make it as light as fucking possible so that it's not heavy. and went to the studio. Even with this little board, it was a fucking pain in my ass because the board is like, you know, the guitar itself is easy. You get on the subway, you do your thing, you come back, you get on the subway, you do your thing. You don't want giant shit on the subway. It's not fun, you know. I brought amps to gigs once with my pedal board. With, you know, oh no, you don't want to do that. But I was looking at this guy and I'm saying, Jesus Christ, look at the fucking size of this fucking pedal board. And I'm like, God damn. I mean, he had this little, you know, he had a Strat and he had this fucking massive board. Sometimes I think over the years it's gotten carried away. It really has gotten carried away, and I think, and I'm not even really saying that as like, you know, well, you know, you don't use pedals. Some people like them. Sure, I like pedals. They're fun. They make little different noises and different shits and different things. That's great. But when we're talking about the Rolling Stones or Led Zeppelin, even the Beatles or whatever the fuck, you're trying to replicate sounds from that era, you don't need all this. Because they didn't use all this. They used just that, you know, and then they plug in and that's all they fucking had. They didn't have this shit. So I always find it really funny when people try to fucking replicate, how do I get that Jimmy Page sound? What pedal do I use? Well, you don't use a pedal because Jimmy didn't use a fucking pedal. You know, he had a fucking fuzz box, a wah pedal, and a fucking and a plexi. You know, so why would you use all kinds of different pedals on top of pedals and pedals? And, you know, like, we're going to stack overdrives. We're going to put this and then this. And then... It gets carried away. I'm saying this, you know, because I noticed the trends as I myself gotten older through the years. And I noticed how things happen from the 80s through the 90s and the 2000s and then up to today. The boards kept getting bigger and bigger. Bigger, you know, and it's just so much. It's just so much. And I think what really people need to do, especially guitar players, is hold off, really, on all of that. Just hold off on that stuff. Try to get natural tones out of your instrument first. And again, I don't want to be like a fucking dick and say like, oh, pedals suck. They don't. You have a really big pedal board, you love it, great. I mean, that's fantastic. I'm just thinking practically. You know, practically, as in playing these small clubs and stuff like that. You know, when I was in Honor Among Thieves, we'd go to all these fucking clubs and all this fucking shit. We'd pack all this shit in the van and go to this and get in the van and you drive 15 fucking hours up here, over here. You pack all this shit back. You know, it's a lot of shit. It's just a lot of shit. And 95% of the time when I'm playing these shows, I just used an overdrive and the fucking, you know, my wah pedal, and that's about it. I didn't use like half the shit on the board that I had or whatever the fuck. And it's like, if I know I'm playing 10 songs and 3 of those songs I need a phaser, I'll put a phaser on there, you know, because I'll use it, you know. If I know that none of those songs I'll use a phaser, then why do I have the fucking phaser on the board? You know, it'd be lighter, it'd be less to carry and less to move around. And less shit to fuck up. Because I mean, you have all these cables and all this shit running around and all that kind of shit. All of a sudden you press on the fucking thing, it doesn't work, and you're like, oh fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know, I mean, I'm just an old bastard and I'm getting older and I'm just saying to myself that it's just easier. It's just the old times are just easier, and all you young bastards don't know, and you have to listen to me. All I'm saying is this: maybe we should all like think about using all these pedals too much. Try to get some natural fucking tone out of your instrument. Use the tone controls. Use the volume controls. Set your amp in a certain way, you know? See what you can get first out of the guitar. Then use the pedal as an add-on, you know, as a color feature. A lot of people I've seen most of the time, they're trying to get like, well, this is my crunch sound, and this is my lead sound, and this is my, you know, rhythm tone, and they actually have, they have all these pedals, and then they have this big switch unit that's you know, it's digitally into these pedals, and they press this, and that's their lead, and then that's their crunch, and they never touch anything on the guitar. Everything's up on 10, and they never touch anything on the guitar. That, to me, that's bad. Because now you're relying on the pedal to get the tone that you want. You're no longer relying on yourself, the way you're playing, the way you can set your guitar on the controls that it already has, and your amp. I think that's bad. I think that's bad in the long run when it comes to being a musician, when it comes to being a guitar player. You shouldn't rely specifically on the pedal. Now everybody's gonna hate me because I'm fucking saying this, but I'm just. It's an observation from a guitar player, lifelong guitar player, who has gotten older over the years. I'm 49 now, and I've become more of a minimalist than I ever was. So put that in mind as you're getting older. All right. That's my non-historic talk, historic talk for today.